So one of the most common problems people face in the world, and that really hinders people, is mobility issues. Also pain from back pain, leg pain, knee pain, ankle pain. The whole conundrum of pain throughout from head to toe caused partly by walking and supporting weight. I've covered this topic before, and I'll put some links below of it, me covering it. But I want to go back with it to some new ideas I have. And the first kind of new idea I have is to put better sensors in the actual shoes themselves. And this is more to gather data or adapt the shoe in the first place to a person. Not necessarily as much adapting to just gather data for the next pair of shoes, or for experimental run, where you could give the shoes to a person to try out for a week, then a doctor can look at the data and figure out what shoes best for you, or some algorithm or something. So what are the different types of problems that make it unique? Well, some people have too much movement in different directions, from side to side, up or down, for example. Also, how the shape of the actual foot while walking can change for different people in slightly different ways. This can be all impacted. Some people are more flat-footed. Some people have way too high of an arch, or the toes are splayed differently. And these can also dynamically change while walking to some extent as pressure and stuff is exerted. Some people will splay their feet out too much, or have the feet pointed inwards or outwards at diagonals. Some people lift their feet higher than other people, changing the gaits. Some people approach the ground at different angles and correct at different angles. And all this could affect how you want to support the foot in the shoe. And some people also put more pressure on one leg than the other one. That can be a sign that there's a problem with one leg that's making it not the best to support one. So I know some people that have had knee problems, and they put more heavily pressure on the good knee, which also can speed up that one degrading. So it's not a good idea. And these shoes also can look for other things for comfort from sweat. If you include it, you could have shoes that have other smart sensors that monitor, and also your foot is one of the sweatier places, and you can monitor sweat for other health problems if you really want to go the whole condunger. Now you can also have shoes that use these sensors to adapt in some way to better support you in different walking modes, from walking to running to jogging, or on different terrains and stuff like that. And maybe even sensors that scan ahead of you for different terrains and different types. Another idea that's very much related is you could have a walk scan thing, where you use cameras and stuff to monitor more how a person walks. And they could walk on like a treadmill, but they could also walk in an environment. You could have them have a treadmill with different inclinations and different textures, or you could have a special room where they walk. And you just film them and look at the film and analyze it. Or you can have someone follow them behind and with a camera, and they can just go about the day more, or some other way submit videos, which might not be as accurate in some ways, because you don't get as much data that way, and you have to have someone hold the camera and stuff. It might be more convenient for some people than seeing a doctor, and less expensive than, say, a whole room. You could certainly combine these two things together, because walking scanning cannot give you as much about the actual pressures and stuff, and might not be as detailed analysis. But the sensors in the shoes miss out some of the exact movements with the hips and knees and back and stuff going on, and so to combine them, you might get an actually more accurate picture overall. The walk scanner also has advantages and sensors in shoes that you can just use a camera that can be used for other things too. The most hardest thing, though, this is a harder thing to develop the actual algorithm, but the algorithm you only have to develop one time, unlike the sensors, which you might have to develop many times. The walk scan also is not as good in that while you scanning that person, you can't adaptively change the shoe, so the sensors in the shoes could potentially adaptively change the shoes. I've also thought about more just now is that you could use sensors and stuff for people that want to have stimuli in the foot because of sensory seeking, proprioception, and other issues. You could use the sensors to tell when to give the stimuli, such as it makes it a little bumpy or it gives you a little massage or something for feedback. You could vibrate for feedback so you know how to adjust your gait without it making it more difficult to walk because you don't have bumps and stuff to make it harder for you to grip or something. Or the sensory feedback is the shoe less stable. This might make the walk less stable. Instead, you just give sensory feedback while the foot is off the ground. Just some quick ideas right there. Another idea I have is for a way to have a strap-on chair sort of. So imagine you sit down and you sit on this chair thing and you strap on it onto you, and it gives you support from your foot all the way up to your body. Or you can have a boots that open up fully, and there's a special strap that straps it all together and de-straps it off just with a touch from the top. The idea is that this will give you more full body support, and having it then a mode where you hit it and becomes flexible again, or becomes rigid like a chair. Now, becoming rigid might also let you sit down in more places and relax and rest if you have stamina or endurance issues. So that strap-on chair idea might be a good idea. You could also maybe invent a suit for some people that they walk into a suit and then it becomes more flexible after they walk into it or step into it. And then it has certain parts of it that become less flexible, and those less flexible parts add support. Distributing, having it's customized for the person with various straps or constricts or something has many potential advantages in that you don't put too much weight on any one particular area, which can really help with people that have like joint problems with hypermobility. Or you could shrink it down so that the joints don't ever go too far, so it gives you more support, but also it's tight. Gives you constriction. Another idea would be just this whole idea, and I kind of already mentioned it, with boots and stuff that have flexibilities and stuff built in, and you can just do it from the top downwards. Whether it be electronic or not, or opens up wide, then constricts with a touch of a button. The last kind of idea that I want to talk about is ratchet wheel shoes. And by ratchet wheel shoes, I mean there's something called, shoes with wheels at the back and a flat part. So the flat part is when you're walking normally. And the flat part touches the ground and the wheel does not really touch the ground. When you have your weight on the foot, when you're really putting your weight on the foot fully. Then you have a wheel. Now the wheel is close to the height, is either in the back in the heel or the front, or has a mechanism that goes up and down with some suspension. So when you put your full weight, it's on the ground, the flat part, and the wheel is kind of tucked up. Now on the wheel, we put a ratchet. This ratchet stops the wheel from rolling in one direction. So the wheel only rolls one direction. Therefore, a person can lift the foot up with less high and just slide the leg along without as much friction forward, then put the foot down and push back in this repeated cycle. By not lifting up the foot as much, it can help a person with stability issues more quickly respond if they start falling. It can help you with low muscles, musculature that can lift up the foot as much. It can help you with stability issues have the center of mass keep it low to the ground, which is more stable. It can also just do some other wonderful things is that if the wheels are designed well, you can also have it always support the weight of the person to some extent. Less if it has suspension and stuff. But they always might support a little bit of the weight of the person. This could be custom made for different disability issues. Perhaps all the stuff could be custom made with like a 3D printer or something. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps turn out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard way to help I can do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section below. Again, thank you very much. Goodbye.